President Ramirez, platform party, distinguished faculties, and last but not least, fellow graduates. How do you feel? All right. First of all, I want to thank the faculty and staff on behalf of myself and all of the graduates for their patience and knowledge. As I look around this magnificent building, I see in the stands all our friends and relatives who have helped us a long way in our academic journey. For that, we salute you and give you a round of applause. All the people up there. Now, I have to tell you, this is the first time that UMUC has asked me to write anything in less than 600 words. The fact is that my educational journey began in 1957, do the math, as a high school graduate who had no desire to want to go to college. The fact that my grades weren't too stellar may have had something to do with that. Back then, you faced military draft, went to college, or received a military deferment. I opted to join the Navy since my father was a career naval officer. Yeah, beat Army. After my tour of duty, I did attend the University of Maryland. It was not a successful experience. I didn't have good study attitudes and habits, didn't know how to study. As a result, I left college and went to work, much to my father's chagrin. After that, probably the smartest thing I've ever done is I married my high school sweetheart. That was 58 years ago last month. She's up there. The following spring, Marie and I, along with my parents, attended my brother's college graduation at Valparaiso University in Indiana. It was during that ceremony, oh, I heard a Valpo fan over there, all right. It was during that ceremony that I had what I may be called a life-changing epiphany. Watching that parade of graduates receiving their diplomas, I said to myself, I can do that. There's no reason I can't do that. On the drive home the next day, and I don't recommend this, I announced without consultation that I was quitting my job in the fall. I'm going to return to the University of Maryland and get my degree. I'm sure my dad was happy about that. I'm also sure that no wife likes to hear I'm quitting my job. But I did quit, I did go back, and I did get my degree. Thank you. Of course, things were a little bit different back then. The tuition was $15 a credit hour. Yeah. In appreciation for working while I went to class, I awarded my wife a PhD. That stands for putting hubby through. However, it was a bittersweet ending to that chapter of my life. My mother lost her long battle with cancer the week before finals of my last semester. It sort of took the wind out of what might have been a joyous occasion. I didn't even go to my commencement. Now, I'll fast forward to the next 40 years in the HVAC industry, most of which I spent operating my own company. When this old body started telling me it was time to sort of take a rest, I sold my company and took a faculty position at Montgomery College, teaching HVAC, of course. Then I began to thinking about the opportunity to continue my education, and I said, I can do that. Naturally, I chose UMUC, well, UMGC, hard to get used to that. Being older, I know about the stress of the magical number 11:59 p.m. Writing the challenging criteria of APA, and the anxiety of surviving Dr. Marin's statistics class. I'm not sure I would have done it, but yet here I am. My educational journey has been a much longer trip than most of you, but we have all reached a milestone. However, I have a different definition of milestone. A milestone is a significant point or project or event. The Romans were great road builders, and they invented the milestone, and they built roads all over Europe. But it was a marker on the side of the road, but not how far you've come. It's how far you have to go, 50 miles to Rome or whatever. What I want to know is what's written on your milestone. Is it the next degree on your educational journey? Is it a good job in your chosen field? Maybe a gap year. Whatever it is, take it on with gusto, without fear. You'll make it. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. We are all now armed to take on that challenge ahead of us. In case you were wondering, do I practice what I preach? I do plan to apply for acceptance in a UMGC doctorate program. Why? I can do that. Thank you for listening. Remember to thank your friends and family for their support, and God bless.